Hey artists, we're getting ready to start on the fun part of our project. Each of you have a 16 by 20 canvas that has been gessoed or prepped for painting, but we are going to be doing a background color, and I'm going to show you, this is the Flamingo drawing. This is the Flamingo project. So what we're going to be doing is doing this, what's called a Scumble background, is all these different kind of brush marks that go back and forth, kind of a cross-hatching design to give us a nice abstract looking backdrop. You can use any blue that you have, any turquoise paint that you have at home. If you don't have it, I wound up mixing some here. This one, I had this color in a tube of paint, but you can also take blue and yellow and mix kind of a green, add a little bit of pink into it, a little bit of white. You're gonna want a dark color of this and then maybe a lighter. I pulled in some of this darker blue that I could do some mixing too. So you can mix. We've done a color lesson on mixing, but you want a good pile of paint to start this with. The first thing you're going to do is take your large brush that I loaned you guys, your larger brush, and you're going to get it wet. You're going to get your brush wet. Tickle the bottom of that. And I'm going to water down some of this paint. And I'm going to do just a really fast, watered down look on here, okay? And you can see how it's spreading out. And I'm not just going like this, back and forth and trying to cover it, okay? What you're gonna do, water that down, and I'm gonna add some white to it as well, okay? I'm gonna add a little bit more water because I want it to be what we would call a wash. I'm gonna scoot this over because I'm going fast. You don't necessarily have to go this fast, but you do want to go faster because doing a wash, it's good to keep your paint wet, and that way you can blend in these different colors. See, so I'm going to take this in here and get this. I'm just getting all my color on here washed on here, okay? Washed on here. I'm going very fast. I'm not scrubbing my brush out flat. I'm using my bristles back and forth. I'm going fast, but look, I'm going back and forth. I'm not ruining my brush by scrubbing it, but I am going back and forth with it. Okay, and as this starts to dry, this will stay wet a while because I have quite a bit of water in it, but I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be, oopsie, I splattered some, so be careful. Have paint clothes on for sure. Of course, you may not go as fast as I'm going. So basically, I'm covering all of the white of the canvas. Now, I'm not going to cover the edge because clearly I'm trying to move quickly so that this video isn't, so long. But basically, you would, at home, you would take your paint, I pick up the edge, and I just kind of go like this and very gently go over the edge like that. It doesn't take very long. And then again, you're going to want to make sure you don't, okay? You're just going to go over the edge like that, okay? But you want to cover your edge of your paint. Of your canvas. And then you're going to let that dry. Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess I'm gonna need to stop this video so that y'all can let that dry. One thing you can do is get a, again, I'm just moving that around like this. Your parents can help you. They're gonna be leading you in this because clearly I am not with you right now. So you're going to get that done, that canvas, going to make sure there's paint everywhere. And then what we're going to do is let this dry because it's pretty puddly. a little bit. You don't want it to dry all the way. Let's just see how wet this is right here. That's fine, but we're going to, you're going to let it dry a little bit. Go ahead now, as that's drying a little bit, I'm going to mix some more of this darker color. Okay. I'm going to pull a little bit of this blue. See how this is making a darker green? We worked on mixing our colors. And again, I'm doing it kind of fast. So I'm going to mix a little bit darker, or if you want to just buy a darker teal and not have to mix your colors, parents, you can do that. But basically, I'm wanting to do a little bit of a teal. I'm going to add that pink in there to make it a little bit darker, a little deeper color. I added too much pink, didn't I? Okay, so there's another color. All you want is a little bit different color is what you're looking for. See how that's a little bit darker? Okay. Then you're just going to come in here and do a little bit of this on it, okay? And look at me. I'm just going back and forth, and I've got this is still kind of damp, but it's not as wet as it was. And this time I did not add water to my paint because I've already got water on here. So what I'm going to do is just go around, and you want to concentrate on the edges because in this middle part is where your flamingo is going to be, okay? And whatever we paint, we're going to have to cover up. So, ooh, there's some junk in my paint there. So I'm just going to come in here and go back and forth and add some color. Now, I'm not wanting to cover the underneath. I'm wanting to just add some interest, okay? So I'm just adding some color on there. I'm not wanting to cover it all. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, look at my palette here. I'm going to add a little bit of white, and I'm going to lighten up this first color I used. Just right here on my palette. You can do it with your palette knife and make a little pile, but so that we can go quicker, I'm just doing it right here on my palette. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here and then just very carefully go in here and add. I don't want it to blend too much. I'm going to come in here and add some of the light color. Okay, if you have any questions, you guys, moms and dads, can call me or let me know. But I'm just getting some of that white just to kind of add a different dimension. Okay, I'm blending it a little bit, but not all the way. I'm letting it mix with some of those background colors. You see how that's kind of making it interesting? Okay. Now I'm going to go through and just do a few mixes. A little bit longer strokes, just so that it's all a little bit different. Now, what's the rule? You gotta know when to stop. So to me, I need a little bit more light color right over here, possibly. See, there, that got pretty dark right there. And guess what? A little bit in here maybe. And I need to stop because if I kept going, it would become a muddled mess. You want to stay out of it once you get it covered. So you're going to be doing the all over color, very pretty wet. You're going to let it sit a minute while you mix your other colors. Then you're going to do a darker color. So it's your medium color, your darker color, then you're going to do your lighter color. See, my medium color was this. My darker color was this. And that's even a different color. It doesn't matter. It's in the same color family. And then I added white to this first color to get my light color, my highlight color. And that's what gives you that background. You can tell that the colors I used here were different, but it's a very similar background. It's a very similar background. You just want kind of that mottled look. I probably prefer this even darker. So if you're buying paint, go with the darker paint. I didn't have a darker blue on hand where I am right now, so this is basically your background paint for the flamingo drawing. Good luck. Call or text me if you have any questions, and I want to see your progress.